Okay. So I am now started. So welcome you all to this training session on statistical process control. We are into day 6. And in today's session, that is the concluding session, we will have clause of confidentiality. And after that, we will start with terms and definition related to this process capability, process performance, which we are going to calculate. Then we will go through how that what is process performance and what is process capability indices. We will go through calculating the CP, PP, and then CPK and PPK. Then we will see what is this 68, 95 and 99 rule. What does it says? And then we will see the process capability and Six Sigma, how it relates. You must have heard about the Six Sigma. So that Six Sigma is not that 6 standard deviations, it is the sigma level. And when you operate at 6 sigma level, the defects per million opportunities are very less. So we will see what does that mean. And then we will quickly review what we have learned in this training program. And then I will elaborate you about the test and assignment to get the certificate. If time permits, I will also tell you about how to use a statistical process, statistical calculation program is there, Minitab. It's the statistical program, Minitab, and it is very nice tool. So we have done it on Excel. That is very much needed to understood the basics. But for time saving, it will be very quicker. Within a say snap of seconds, you will get your control chart, the capability index, and I will show you whatever we have calculated so far. Okay, whatever we have calculated so far using the Excel sheet. So we will take one of the example like say IMR chart, and I will show you exactly what the Minitab, that is the statistical program is there, software is there, statistical analysis software is there, the output of that and what we have calculated, whether that is matching or not. If it match means whatever we have followed is correct. There is a trial version of that one, so that I will explain you later on. So clause of confidentiality, as I am telling you from the start and at the start of each and every session, the content is of proprietary nature. Do not share it with any of the public platform, nor to your colleagues, connections, screenshots, recordings, anything. Do not share because it may create some issues for us also. So share the knowledge, do not share the documents as it is. Now, while going to the definitions, first is the inherent process variation. So when you go to the statistics, you will come across this word, that is inherent process variation. So what is this inherent process variation? So inherent process variation is the variation that is due to the common causes of variation only, that is systematic causes. And that is why to reduce the inherent process variation, you have to take the system action on the system, whereas for assignable causes you need to take action locally, that is on that particular cause of variation. Then what is within subgroup variation? So that is within subgroup variation is delta sigma c. This is a variation due to the variation within the subgroups. Means we have a subgroup size of 10 or subgroup size of 11. So whatever the variation is there within that subgroup, all these 11 readings of that subgroup is called the within subgroup variation. And if the process is in a state of statistical control, that is, there are only which causes present. When we say the process is in a state of statistical control, which causes are present only?
Common causes.
Common causes, good. So only the common causes, systematic causes are present. Then that within subgroup variation can be a good estimate of the inherent process variation, means this one. So if it is in state of statistical control, that inherent process variation you can estimate from calculating within subgroup variation data. So how you will estimate? It can be estimated from the control chart by R bar by D2 or S bar by C4. So this is what is used for calculating within subgroup variation, R bar by D2 or S bar by C4. These are the two formulas you need to use. Then between subgroup variation. So this is the variation due to the variation within subgroups. Within subgroup, sorry, it is between subgroups. Huh? Just a minute. It is between. Like there are a subgroup size is 11 and you have taken the reading 25 times. So what is the variation present is there between these two? So this is the variation due to the variation between the subgroups. And if the process is in statistical control, then this variation should be 0. So it means why there should be a variation from one subgroup to another subgroup. It should be near to the 0. It cannot be near 0, but it should not be too much of a variation because there are no assignable causes present. So if your process is moving like this one, so the variation of one subgroup is here. So another subgroup cannot be this. So this is a too much of a variation. It should be nearer. Okay, it should, because unless and until there is a any special cause present, this variation can go very high. And now what is total process variation? So this is the variation due to both within subgroup and between subgroup variation. And this variation may be estimated by the S. Means in this case, if you have 100 data and you are having subgroup of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So your data will be this 4, that is a subgroup of 4, and then there will be 25 such subgroups. That's where you will get this 100 data. So this 4, 4, 4 data we will have, like we have prepared that chart, S bar R chart. Now the variation between these two subgroups comes between subgroup variation. Within subgroup variation within this one only. Now the total variation will be the within the subgroup as well as the between the subgroup. Means you are taking basically the variation of the whole data, all the 100 data. And you will use the formula HTDVE-S. I will tell you on the Excel sheet. The sample standard deviation using all of the individual readings obtained from either a detailed control chart or a process study. Using the variance, you need to use the variance divided by n-1 on Excel sheet using the formula HTDEV.S. So now why you need to understand this within subgroup and total variation? Because you are going to use this for calculating the CPK and PPK. So your for capability, let us move to the next, then you will understand. So when you are going to calculate the process capability, and then there is a process performance. So it depends on the standard deviation. Now when we say standard deviation, we have already seen the variation is based on within and overall. So for process capability, okay, so the Six Sigma range of inherent process variation for statistically stable process only where sigma is estimated by R bar by D2 or S bar by C4. So this capability that's why we need to use the control chart. This value of R bar by D2 you will come to know from the control chart only. You are calculating the R bar, you have the standard value of D2 and you will calculate the S bar and you have the standard value of C4. That day in the table I have shown you the value of I think B1, B3 was there and C4 is also there. So you need to use S bar by C4 or R bar by D2 to calculate the standard deviation when you are going to use it for the process capability. Okay, and that is CP. And when you are going to CP or CPK, and when you are going to calculate for the process performance, the 6 sigma range of total process variation. It is a total process variation. And where the sigma is estimated by? Yes, that is S, the total process standard deviation. That is the difference. So the difference between the CP, CPK and PP, PPK is only the standard deviation which you are going to use. The numerator, there is a formula. When we go, you will see the top side is same for the CPK and PPK, it is same. Okay, but the denominator changes, and what lies in the denominator is the standard deviation. Now, what standard deviation you are going to use for CP and PP, we have already told you, R bar by D2, S bar by C4, or the overall standard deviation, that is estimated standard deviation, you are going to use. If the process is in a state of statistical control, process capability, that is CP, will be very close to the process performance PP. The process performance, what standard deviation you are going to use? We have just seen before some time. And I have asked you to keep writing something. So for CP, you are going to use within. So if the process is in a state of statistical control, there will be very less variation within the subgroup also and between the subgroup also. So ultimately you are going to use the CP, the standard deviation for. So if this is a subgroup variation, subgroup 1, this is the variation. This is the subgroup 2 variation. This is the subgroup 3 variation. This is the subgroup 4 variation. And this is the variation within the subgroups. Now, if it is like this, it means that a total variation will be from here, the topmost, to this one. This is the total data present. That is the total variation. Now, this is one case, and another case, this is, you can treat it as A, and the B case I am telling you here is you have the data subgroups like this one. So now when you will calculate, here in case A and B, here you can find that the within variation and the between variation is almost same. So in such case, because standard deviation will be same or near to each other, that's why the CP and PP will be almost similar CP or PP value you will get. Whereas in case of process B, you have found that within the subgroup, this is the variation within the subgroup. The within subgroup is also high and between the subgroup is also high. It means when you estimate the standard deviation, there will be a huge difference between the two standard deviations. And based on the standard deviation, you are going to calculate the CP and PP. It means when you get a big difference between the CP and PP, I am not going to CPK and PPK 8. Okay, अगर आपको CP और PP में प्रोसेस कैपेबिलिटी एंड प्रोसेस परफॉर्मेंस में ज्यादा डिफरेंस मिलता है, so it is an indication of there is a presence of special causes. The variation will be high only owing to the special causes. If special causes are present, your process is not in a state of statistical control. Though you might be seeing it on the control chart, but the data is showing that it is not in a state of statistical control, means you have to find out the special cause, remove that one. Unless and until you do that, your process will not be capable. यहाँ पे किसी को issue है, please ask me. It is little bit say tricky and difficult to understand also. Okay, so now we go to the capability index and performance index, the CP and PP. Now, if you see the formula, till now we were talking about the control limit. Now what we are talking about is the USL and LSL. So can somebody tell me what is USL and LSL?
Sir, I think upper standard deviation limit and the lower standard deviation.
No, we have seen the difference between the control limit and another one limit was there. We had a discussion on that. It is the voice of customer, it is the voice of the process. That differences we have seen in one of the slide. What was that? And that time I told you people that why we are learning it now, because in the say when we are going to discuss this capability index, we are using that particular limits. So what is that? USL and LSL. It was UCL and LCL, and many time I have used this nomenclature also during the discussion. I told you this is the road, this is your control limits, but
Specification limits, sir.
yeah, specification limits, good. That's why keep writing something. When you write, you will just change your page of 4 or 5 pages. If you go back, you will see this. Oh, this is LSL, this is USL. I am not asking you to write the entire session, at least the main points. So this is specification limit, and who will go with the specification limit? Either the customer or the process requirements. It is not calculated, it is decided based on the technical inputs. So if you are saying the furnace temperature should be between 1000 to 1040, this is your specification limit. You want your process anytime between this one. But control limit, you cannot say, oh, my control limit should be this one. Yeah, you can dictate that. Yes. Mohit, you want to say something, Mohit?
I think that was microphone.
Okay, no issue. So control limits are being calculated from the data, whereas specification limits are specified either by the process owner or process requirements or by the customer. That day we have seen clearly this difference. So in the formula, if you see, CP is USL minus LSL upon 6 sigma. Don't confuse it with the 6 sigma, okay? It is 6 sigma. That is equal to USL minus LSL upon 6 R bar by D2, or what is that? S bar by C4. S bar by C4, or because it is within standard deviation you are taking. Now this R bar by D2, from where you will get this? R bar, to calculate the R bar, you require to calculate that ranges. Ranges within the subgroup, or if you are going by IMR chart, then range of within the 2 points. So LSL, what is your specification limit? What is your lower specification limit? And divided by this one. So if you check if this is the data we have, the normal distribution of this one, and this is your center. So actually this doesn't take care of center. So it is the LSL, it is the USL. It will tell you where you are moving. So it is exactly their value does not tell you. You will get the same value for this behavior also, you will get the same value for this behavior also, and you will get the same value for this behavior also. Just a minute, let me clear it. So now this is your LSL and this is your USL. Got it? So for example, you have the LSL of 60, USL of 80, And now the variation means this is the variation. So you have 3 cases, and I am saying that in all the 3 cases the variation is of say 3 standard deviation. Oh, sorry, it is the sigma value is 3, for example. Sigma value is 3. Just a minute. 3 sigma will not work. For this you will require at least 10 or 12. Let us go to our this one and take actual value. Basically that will give. I am changing the screen to the Excel. Oh, sorry, not this. Excel. Now the standard deviation, or we go by this only. So in this case, let us think that the process average was average. Forget about average. The minimum value is 98, maximum is 101. So you can take 95 to 105, and your standard deviation was 0.827, for example. Okay, 0.8, 0.9 you can take. Okay, so you think that you have a process wherein your LSL is at 95 and your USL it has 105, and you have a standard deviation of 0.9. 0.9 is the standard deviation. So even if you run the process here, because standard deviation is basically depends on the variation, so in both all the 3 cases A, B, C, this case, the standard deviation is same, that is 0.9. Now can you please calculate the CP value? Because R bar by D2 is basically standard deviation, so you got this value of 0.9. So how much is the standard deviation you can calculate? How much is the value of CP? You have the LSL, you have the USL, you have the R bar by D2 value. So how much it is?
Double 1.11.
11.11, the 11.11. Okay, it is very high because we have. Is it so? Please calculate properly. So it should not come 11.11. It should not come actually. Something is wrong. Please check one more time. Check the formula properly. It is not 11.11 cannot come. Okay.
Sir, 18.51, sir.
How much? 18.
8.51, 18.51.
8.51.
8.51.
How? Which formula you people are using?
So 10 by 0.9.
Why 10 by 0.9? Where is this 6 gone?
Acha, okay, 6 is different. Okay, I am
Yeah,
taking the
I
6 sigma.
No, you cannot take 6 sigma. I told you, don't confuse this with 6 sigma. This 6 sigma is different, that 6 sigma is different, totally different. Don't confuse with that. It is a standard deviation. That 6 sigma is a sigma level. Okay? And it is standard deviation of 6 times standard deviation. Totally different. Okay? Don't confuse. There is a relation.
1.8.
Huh?
1.85. 1.851.
Yes. And so it is 1.851. I think you have told 18.51. Somewhere you have made a mistake of you might have taken 9 here. And it should be 0.9. So 1.851 is the correct answer. Okay. So you have R bar by D2, this value, you will get the CP value of this. But whereas when you calculate the performance, you need the estimated standard deviation. Okay, estimated standard deviation by using the formula STDVE.S. Now, what we will do, I hope you people have written down these formulas. I am going to the Excel sheet where we have the R bar by D2 value also. We have the estimated standard deviation also. And I will just tell you the specification limits and you need to calculate both. Okay, and quickly also, because today we want to finish so many things. So I am changing this, going to the Excel sheet.
Hello.
Hello.
Sir, that in previous case, USL and LSL are assumed by us.
No, not assume. We have to have the specific your specification limit. Like if you are calculating the CPK for your thickness of the product or thickness of the machine product, so you need to have the specification given by the either customer or your own. If it is an intermediate product, it's your own specifications.
Okay.
No, it is by you. It is cannot be a hypothetical. I have just taken for example purpose. No?
Okay, got it.
So either it is a process parameter, then also you will have specification. Control limits are totally different. You want your process to run within that specifications. And control limits are calculated based on the how your process is running. And specification limit is how you want your process to run. Got it? Can you tell me any of the process parameter you have that you are monitoring in your organization?
Hardness.
Hardness you are monitoring. So one is hardness, there are process parameters are there. So that or based on the hardness data, you will have your control limits. But you must have specified how much hardness you require. Is it 58 HRC minimum or maximum something, or it is one-sided specification also? So that you have specified. Okay. So now we will just take the example of IMR chart to start with. Now you have that STDVS, that is estimated standard deviation, which is being used for the calculation of the PP. Okay. And you have R bar by D2 value for calculation of the what? CP. Now consider that you have LSL and USL. The LSL is 95 and USL is 105. Now you have LSL, USL, you have this one value. Okay. Standard deviation, take this 0.9764 and R bar by D2 is 0.827. Now calculate the CP and PP. What is the CP and what is the PP value? Tell me. Got it? Any confusion? Please ask. Formula you must have noted down. You need to understand what standard deviation you are going to use for the CP and what you are going to use for the PP. Quickly, 2 minutes only, because we have to then go to the CPK, PPK also. And then
for the PP, sir, is 1.739.
1.739.
7.39.
Sorry, 1.7.
139.
1.739. That is what I written, na?
7139.
713. Okay.
And sir, CP value is already calculated, na?
No. That was different. Na? That time I have taken the 0.9. Standard deviation was 0.9. Na? Here it is different. That time I had just given you for the understanding purpose, calculation purpose.
For PP 1.7069 and for CP 2.0153.
2.0153. 153. And PP how much you are saying?
1.7069.
1.7069. Okay. Why it is different? Both people are having different. Go to whatever the decimal places I have given, use that. Okay. Whatever the decimal places is
What?
being shown, use that.
016.
How much?
0.016.
No. 2.016.
016.
Okay.
Sir,
Now,
for CP 2.01, sir. PP 1.7094, sir.
Okay, everybody is calculating different. Okay, so just check your answer and what I am taking. Okay, for the CP, for this one, you need to take the standard deviation coming from R bar by D2. So the formula was LSL minus USL. USL minus LSL. So 105 minus 95 divided by 6 into the standard deviation value needs to be taken 0.827. When I show 0.827, you need to take 0.827. So 0.827. And this is the value we got, 2.011532. If you got this, even up to 1.53 also you got, you are correct. If there is something here and there, it means either you have not taken this properly or you have made some mistake in the calculation. So this is the value of CP. And for PP, you need to take the estimated standard deviation. So again, it is USL minus LSL divided by 6 into standard deviation, that is 0.9764. We have to take complete 9764. So that is 1.70695. So whoever have got up to 69, that is also okay for me, or 7070 is also okay for me, or somebody told me 107 this that is also acceptable. 714 it will not come. I think maybe you have not taken up to last decimal. Maybe you have taken just 0.976 or something like that. Mohit, you have told me 0.714. So just check where you have made the mistake.
Okay.
So it should be 1.7070 or it can be 1.70695 like this one. Normally round it off.
1.7.
So normally round it off to 2 figure, that is, and a rounding off should be complete, mathematical rounding off. And when we say CP or PP, we don't go to the third, fourth decimal, round it off to the nearest one, 2 decimal places. But it should be a mathematical rounding off. It should not be like here 1070, so you will just say 1.70, 2 decimal places gone. No, it should be a mathematical one. So if whatever the values you people told me, if I round it off, it is coming correct. There is nothing like second rounding 2.02, 1.71. So this is how you calculate the CP. Please understand what formulas we are using. And here there is no role of the process centering. Average value we have not taken into consideration. Okay. But CP and PP are not affected by the process center. That is average of the process. It means if I am talking about the control chart, you are not bothered. Your process variation should be minimum within the control limit. So if one process is moving here, another process B is running here. You have 3 processes, you have 3 furnaces, for example, and your temperature range is different. This is your specification limit, for example. Okay, it is 1000 degrees centigrade and it is 1040 degrees centigrade upper. Now this process A, furnace A is running here, the furnace B is running here, and furnace C is running here. If you calculate the CP, because standard deviation is the same, okay, or if you calculate the PP, because standard deviation is the same for all the processes, I am telling you that the variation is same. It means your value of CP and PP will be same for all the 3 processes. But the output, will be the same? Will the output from this process will have the same property, this process will have the same property, and this process will have the same property?
No, sir.
No, it will be different. Okay, it will be different because it has run in the different scenario. Also, the chances of this process getting outside will be much more. The chances of this process or the product produced out of this process getting outside specification will be much more, whereas this process which is nearer to the center will have the lesser chances to go to produce non-conforming products. Is it not? It is same like you have the road, you have the specification limit, the spikes are there, your car will get punctured and you are moving on this area very controlled way. I am saying there is no variation, so much variation. One person is driving here and one person is driving here. So it is same scenario. I have changed it to the like a road. It is A, B, C. So the chances of this person going here is much higher. Okay, if little bit of more variation and he will be out, a little bit of more variation and he will be out this side. But this, for this process to go outside, it requires too much of a variation. Then only it will go out. Then only it will go out. Too much of a variation. Whereas the processes which are running nearer to the specification limits are having maximum chances of going out. That is where the role of CPK and PPK come. So that capability index which takes care of the centering of the process, these are CPK and PPK. So normally what they call, both the CP and PP are called performance index. Again, CPK and PPK are also called capability and performance index. But normally you should call it process capability only, and you call it process performance. Okay, CP and PP. P is for the process capability, and here P is for the process performance. Okay, whereas when you talk about the CPK and PPK, you call it process capability index and process performance index. But both are basically capability indexes, performance indexes. Now you look at the formula here, the CPK and the PPK. Now you need to calculate it. If you look at the formula, in last time you don't have upper and lower. Now you have CPKU and CPKL and PPKU and PPKL. Now you tell me what difference you are observing with respect to the CP and PP formula. Just look at this one, CPK. Again here the standard deviation will be by R bar by D2 or S bar by C4. And here it is estimated standard deviation. What else you are seeing the difference? Can you find out the difference between the formula of CP, PP with the formula of CPK and PPK? So start with the difference between the CP formula and the CPK formula. Please tell me what is the difference you are observing.
So there was USL and LSL was known in previous formula. Right now we are considering here in this formula individually. Suppose in first formula we are taking only the USL value, and on based on that we are founding CPK, where the LCL consideration is not there. The same vice versa is done in the lower one formula.
What you are using then?
And
What you are considering? What you are considering here?
X double bar,
What is that?
averages of the averages.
So it means you are taking into consideration the averages. Okay, so average comes means the process centering is coming. Is it not?
Right.
Because if the process is running somewhere here, the average will be different, na? If it is LSL of 95, okay, sorry, here it is not drawing properly. So it is LSL of 95 and here is the USL of 105. We are taking same USL and LSL now. Okay, if the process runs here, the average will be different. The process runs here, the average will be different. And if the process runs here, the average will be different. Is it not? So this average here will be say around 100, or it can be 99, it can be 101 here, and the average here can be say 103, 104, and the average here will be something different. Maybe it is nearer to the 95, maybe it's 93 or 94. So averages are different now. So the values of CPKU or CPKL for all these processes will be different. Is it not? Or it will be
Yes.
same?
No, it will be different.
Because this is changed and this is changing. LSL and USL is common for all the three processes, whether it is process A, process B, or process C. LSL and USL is constant. This is same. Only changing is this one, H double bar, or you can say X bar also. And one more difference is there between that formula and this formula.
We have half the value of multiplier in denominator.
So that time also we have denominator. So what denominator was there? Multiplier was there?
6 into sigma c. Right now we are using 3. So
3
in
into
denominator
sigma
we
c.
have half.
So you are using here 3 into sigma c, whereas there was the 6 sigma c. Okay, that is the difference. And here, when you get the value of CPKU and CPKL separately, then how you will arrive at what is the capability index of your process then? Because you have now two values. So which we will consider? You will consider L or you will consider U?
Both of the consideration. Now in case of total, we have to get average of that.
No. Then how you will come to know where your process is moving? If you take the average
Which one is lower?
Yes, whichever the value is lower out of this, that is your capability. Got it? It means, for example, this process is running here. You got the L value because you see which is lower. You have the A process here. Here, the difference between this, the average is very low. For example, the average is 93. Now, the difference between two, average is 93, whereas your 97. Here it will be 97. Here the 97. So 97 minus 95, it will be 2. So this is the 97 minus 92. So you have 2. 97 minus 95, it is 2. So your numerator is 2, denominator is same for this also and this also. And for the same condition A, what will be this one? What is your upper specification?
105.
105 minus
95.
97.
Average
97. So how much you have now here in the numerator? 8.
Okay.
So this value is same, 3 sigma c and 3 sigma c, it is same. So now you will get CPKU much more and CPKL is very low because numerator is 2 only, here it is 8. So you will get almost 1/4 of the value for this one. Got it? If you average it, it will go to the center. Again, you will have the best one. Now, when you have the very low, it means you will come to know your process is running when your CPKL is high. CPKL is low. Okay, over capability index, you will see, oh, it is low, CPKL. So you will know your process is running towards the lower control limit. You need to correct the you need to change the process towards center. You need to drive the car towards the center. And if it is exactly between at the center, if the process average is exactly at the center of the specification limits. Now, what is the center of the specification limits? LSL and USL, what is the center?
100.
100. Now, if your process average is 100, okay? Now, in that scenario, tell me what will be the value of your CPK and CPKU and CPKL? Is it different or is it same? Will it be different or will it be same? It will be
same.
Why? Because 100 minus 95 is 5 and 105 minus 100 is also 5. So your numerator, because USL minus X bar, so X bar is 100. So USL minus X bar is again, or H double bar is 5. H double bar minus 95, LSL in case of CPKL, it is also 5. So numerator is same, denominator is also same. So ultimately your output will be same. So when the process is at the center, you will get the when the process is at the center and when the variation is very less, then you get the best value for the capabilities.
So by choosing the lower value, we are typing more standard, no?
Choosing the lower value, what you are doing, you are actually seeing the process, the capability,
Right.
true capability you are seeing. If you take the upper value, you will always have very high. Means when this is
Right.
small, na, exactly opposite, it will be there, it will be very high.
Okay. But
Hai na?
if we choose the higher, it means that we are giving the leverage to the process. Right?
No, not even leverage. Actually, you are not capable. You are saying that you are capable, because this is all
Oh.
depending on the output of the process. And you are calculating it based on the whatever the data you have from the process. So your process is not capable. You are saying you are capable. It means, for example, you are driving here, okay, and you are saying that no, I am not driving there. I am driving. If I take the upper one, you are saying that yes, I am the best one. My capability is very high. I am driving with a very good capability. That is what you are saying. Means you are saying that the chances of you going out, capability ultimately it defines that how are your chances of producing non-conforming product. That's why your customer asks you for the capability of 1.66, or even some people will ask you for the 2 also, that is 6 sigma capability. Normally 1.33, then people are now asking for 1.66 or 1.67. So if you are having a customer, they must have given you certain capability requirements. This is the minimum that they want. Why they want so? Because the chances of producing non-conforming product will be lower if you are running a process with a higher capability. Higher the capability, lower are the chances. Why? Because that way you will be running this process here, and it depends on two things. Okay, your capability index depends on what are the two things? One is the average of the process, and another is the standard deviation. So your process will be capable. Please mute. Somebody is unmuted. Na? It is creating noise. Mohit, please mute yourself. So your process will be capable only if you have the lower variation and running at the center. You can have one process like this, having the average at the center, but that doesn't mean your process is capable. Your capability will be low because of the higher standard deviation. It is in the denominator. Higher it is, lower your output will be. Outcome of this one will be very low, because if it increases, your value will come down. Got it? And this should be at the center of the USL and LSL. Now one scenario is this and another scenario is this. In both the cases, process is running at the center. Now which one is more capable? The chances of which process is more of going out of the specification? Process A or process B?
Process A.
The chances are more. Why? Because capability, you have calculated the capability. Its capability is low. Why it is low? Average is the same. The average of this is also 100 and this is also 100. Still the capability is low. Why? What could be the reason?
Difference in standard deviation.
Because of the higher standard deviation in this process, difference in the standard deviation. You see this process is varying too much. And we have seen standard deviation is the how far that values are with respect to your center line. Basically, it's the variation. It is calculated from the variance, or even the ranges also, R bar by D2. When you are going by R bar by D2, it is the ranges between these two values, how far it is changing. If it is very close, your R value will be very less. The range is very low. In this case, the range is very small. The variation is very low. Whereas in this case, it is too much. Got it? So your capability index are based on the centering of the process as well as standard deviation. Whereas here in the CP, the lower standard deviation you have, the higher CP value you will get. So that is not considering the process centering. Wherever the process is running, you can get the higher CP value. But the true thing is that you need to check the CP and PPK index. Got it? If any thing you want to get clarified, please ask me. Okay. We will go to the Excel sheet. We are going to calculate. Don't worry about that. We are again going to the your Excel sheet and we will calculate the CPKL, CPQ, and I will tell you how it affects, how standard deviation is going to affect your CPK and CPQ value. You know, there is a rule called 68, 95, 99. So I think before going to this rule, let us go to the Excel sheet and calculate CPK and CPQ and PPK and PPQ so that you will get a clear-cut idea. So I am sharing the screen. Once it is available, please let me know. So this we have calculated for CP, CPK. Let us go to this one. Now you have a subgroup data. Let us take an example of subgroup data. From the same data, we have prepared the IMR chart. This is the same data I have taken here. Not IMR chart, sorry, X bar R chart. It is the same data I had copied from here. This data of which we have prepared the your chart, X bar R chart. I have taken the same data. Now we have a subgroup of, what is the subgroup size here?
4, sir.
4. And you have 25 number of data. Now you need to calculate the CP, you need to calculate the PP, you need to calculate the CPKL, CPKU, PPKL, PPKU. So you have the estimated standard deviation. One will come from the R bar by D2. Now for R bar by D2, what you require? The ranges, averages of the range. So we have calculated this range from the subgroup data. This is the range minimum of this, maximum of this. So we have calculated for all the subgroup. This is the average of the subgroup, average of all these 4 values. And this is the X double bar, that is averages of the average. Got it? And this is R bar, that is averages of the range value. Now you have R bar data, you have X double bar data. Now we need to have the estimated standard deviation also, that is being used for the PPK. Okay, estimated standard deviation or PP value. So that we will calculate for all these 100 data. Here, when we calculate the standard deviation by R bar by D2, we are just calculating between this one, within the subgroup variation we are taking into account. We are not taking account the whole variation. That's why this is called within capability. CP is the within capability. Whereas for PPK, we are using the overall standard deviation. The standard deviation of all these things. Yes. So what formula you are going to use is stdev.s, that is for the sampling by n-1, and you use the entire one. So you got the value of this. Now you have the estimated standard deviation, you have the R bar value, even you have the D2 value also. D2 value for subgroup of 4. Okay, I don't think anybody has saved that table. So I am showing you that table and tell me the D2 value. What is the D2 value I should take? Sorry, this is, yeah, here. What is the D2 value I should take from this table? Okay. Tell me what is the D2 value I should take for that particular example? 2.05.
2.
Why?
Subgroup is 4.
Because subgroup of 4.
4,
Huh?
sir.
So we have taken the subgroup of 4. That's why we have to take 2.059. Okay. So now you have the D2 value also. Now I am removing all these things. Now R bar by D2 you can calculate, and estimated standard deviation already you have, but I am removing these data. You might have noted down, I don't know, but now you have, sorry, D2 value you should have 2.059. Okay, so D2 value you have, you have R bar value, you have X bar value, you have standard deviation value. Now please calculate CP, CPK, PP, PPK. We have 4-5 minutes I will give to calculate all these things. You have the formulas already. Sorry, LSL and USL you require. Nobody has asked me what is the LSL and USL, because without that how you are going to calculate? You cannot calculate the even CP, PP. So your LSL is 57, USL is 63. Now you have everything what is required as per the formula. So please calculate it. Exactly 5 minutes I am going to stop and start showing you the actual calculation, but I require you people to calculate on your own so that you know. Quickly calculate, everything is there.
CPKU is 0.72356.
CPKU, okay, point,
0.72356,
okay,
and PPKL is 1.5757956.
okay.
956.
Calculate other CP, PP, PPKL, PPKU. It should be very quick. Because I am going to tell you that how to use the Minitab also. That's why a little bit faster you people have to do. That statistical software tool, how to use that one. All these things it will give quickly within within a click. Same data I will put into that software and it will give the values. And then we will see whether what formulas you are using here are correlating with that very standard software.
Sir,
Yeah.
CPU, CPKU
Hmm.
0.725.
Okay, 54.
CPKL 22.50.
42.
2022, sir.
Something wrong, You have taken some wrong formula. 22 point?
52, sir.
No, it is wrong. Somewhere you are
No, sir.
doing mistake.
Okay, sir. I will check it, sir.
It cannot be like that.
Okay.
Why?
CPKL 1.5795.
What you are talking? CPK or PPK?
CPKL
CPKL, how much?
1.5795.
Yes, 1.5795. Okay.
PKU 0.7235.
35. Okay. 7235. Okay.
PPKU 0.72358.
0.72358.
PPKL 1.5795.
1.57.
5795.
Same value it is coming. Have you used the same formula? Formula has to be different.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay.
Just
Sir,
minute, Mohit. Swapnil, this formula needs to be different, for
Uh,
both the formulas are
yes,
different. So just check whether you have used the same standard deviation. The difference between the two is the standard deviation. Rest of the formula is same. Okay, average value of the process will be same. Only thing is that you need to check is the standard. Yes.
PPKU.
Just a minute.
That is
Mohit, you are telling me just a minute. So PPKU is
0.81846 and LCL is for PPKL that is 1.78672.
1.78672. Okay.
Right, sorry, sir. Oh, yeah. Right.
Okay. And PP and CP nobody has calculated. What about this CP? What about the PP?
Okay, just a minute.
Sir,
Yes.
PPKU 0.8184, sir.
CPK is 0.8184. Okay. And L?
1 minute, sir. I will. Sir. So 1.7867, sir.
1.78671.
67.
Okay.
7.
Okay.
CPK, sir, for CPKU 0.725, sir.
Just a minute. You are saying this CPK U.
U
0.
0.725, sir.
725.
CPKL 1.5795.
579.
95.
Okay. Only Swapnil, you check your formulas, okay? The rest of the things I have got, so I will just start explaining you people. Okay, so I will tell you now. है ना? The CP nobody has calculated, so let us calculate. The CP formula is simple: USL minus LSL. Oh, sorry. So it is USL minus LSL.
Sir, I got CP and PP.
Just a minute. And just tell me your value then. Okay. Tell me, Mohit, your values.
For 1.51556.
1.515, 1.5156.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
So is also
the other value is 1.30259.
just a minute. 1.1515, 1.15158. This is what you just tell Mohit your 1.5156 or 1.1556 something like that.
1.15156.
And this PP value
2.015316.
2.015216. Okay, no issue. Okay, so now let us see when we calculate it. No problem, everybody can now concentrate here. So that is the CP is USL minus LSL direct, divided by 6 into standard deviation. But now for the CP you will use the standard deviation drawn from the R bar by D2. So this R bar by D2 will come. Now what is the value of R bar by D2? R bar you have here divided by D2. So that is 1.15. Okay. So it can be 1.1516, 1.15157. So don't go up to that. Come to 2 decimal place. So everybody's value I am changing it to 2 decimal places mathematically. So let us see. So 1.15 it is okay, Mohit, Swapnil, both of you. Now CPKL, or let us calculate the PP then first. So PP is again your USL minus LSL divided by 6 into standard deviation, but the standard deviation is the estimated one, that is 0.7677. 0.7677 value I will take directly. So this is, you got a PP of 1.30. From where you got this 2.01? Whoever got 2.01, from where it has come? Have you divided by 3 only? You are, I think you have multiplied by 3.
I have told you the wrong value. I have rounded off in my paper. 1.30259 I got.
So 1.3026 or 259. So okay. So that is okay. That is comes 1.30. 259. So that comes to 1.30 is the PP. Yeah. Okay, Akhil, that is true. Now, when we come to the CPKL, now CPKL formula is your X double bar. The value of X double bar, I will take absolute value because you people must have taken absolute value. So 115 minus your LSL. LSL is how much? 57. Okay. And divided by 3 into standard deviation. But the standard deviation will come from R bar by D2. So this is 1.58. That is correct. Now CPKL, again, your USL is 63 minus X double bar. Let me take it directly from there. Divided by 3 into the standard deviation of R bar by D2. So that is 0.72. You got it now. And similar thing you got. PPKL, your X bar minus, X double bar minus 57 divided by 3 into 3 into standard deviation by not R bar by D2 by estimated standard deviation. So that is 1.79, and the second one is 63 minus S double bar divided by 3 into again estimated standard deviation, that is 0.8. Okay, so you people also got okay. Slight difference is here. In this case, here is what 0.72. Somebody has opened the mic. Please close. Swapnil, please close your this one. Okay, thank you. So now this is the values. If your values are not matching, please check what mistakes you are doing. You might be not taking the standard deviation properly. Swapnil, here in this case, you have taken the same standard deviation by R bar by D2. You need to take the standard deviation of this. Okay. So this is how we calculate the CP, PP, PPK, PPU. It directly depends on the standard deviation on A. Now here, you can clearly see that CPKU is less, L is more. So what is your CPK? It is, if you say CPK is, overall CPK is only point, the minimum of these two, minimum of these two value. So minimum is 0.72, so your CPK is this one, and your PPK is 0.82. It can clearly show you where your process is located, whether it is located toward the upper, the average is toward the center or where, because you see this 61.115, your average is more towards the upper specification limit. What is the average of this process? It is 60. So it should be near to the 60. If it goes above, it means that there is a, now if you want to improve it, if you want a better CPK, here there is a big difference between these two. So number one things will be to bring it to the center. Got it? Now if I hypothetically put it the center, for example 60, still your values are not matching too much. Okay, sorry, here I think it is not taking from the reference, that's why. Okay, now if I took it 60, what is the value you got? CPKL, CPKU, PPKL, PPQ. Is it not the same? Is not all the values are same now? CPKL, CPKU, both values are same. PPKL and PPQ are the same. Okay.
Yes, same.
But why it is same now? Because you have centered the process, means not center the process.
The average
the data average is at the center, specification average. The data average is now equals to the specification average. But even after doing this, did you got the required CPK or PPK value of 1.66? Did you got? If your requirement, customer requirement is 1.67 PPK, which is required at the list. So now, even after taking the process average at the center, now more than this you cannot get in this scenario. If you go less, your value will be lower, and if you go higher, your value will be less. So this is the maximum you can got with the taking the process at the center. Okay, now what you will do to improve the capability more? What is in your hand now? Next thing will be, what is that? How you can improve? You have shifted the process average toward the center of the specification. You have maintained the average nearer or at the center of the specification. It will definitely going to help you to improve the PPK value or CPK value. Now the next thing will be what? What you can do to improve?
We can narrow the LSL and USL.
How you can LSL and USL are how you can narrow that down? If you narrow this down, your value will go down again. If I make it 58 and it is 62, your value will go down drastically. You cannot play with the specification limit. Specification limit are the requirement. How you can play with that?
Okay.
Your customer has given you that the length of or the hardness should be between 57 to 63. How you can narrow it down? Or by increasing it will increase. If I make it 55 to 65, it will increase tremendously. It can increase, but that is not what is required. That is not what you can do. Not required also. You cannot do that. What else is there in?
We can improve the standard deviation.
How you can improve the standard deviation? Means you will lower the standard deviation or increase the standard deviation?
Increase
the standard deviation means you will now let me increase. Tell me which I should increase. Okay, this is R bar by D2, value is 0.86. Should I make it 2? What is the value you are getting if I increase the R bar by D2 or standard deviation value?
No, I think you should lower the value.
So what you should do? You should decrease it. Decrease the standard deviation. And how you can decrease the standard deviation? By what way you can decrease the standard deviation?
By controlling range.
By controlling the range, by controlling the variation within the points or between the points. Means this variation, how these values are distributed, I need to take it as nearer as possible. So now just imagine that this value which are going away from this one, I little bit changes if you make, this standard deviation starts coming lower. The variation should be lower. The spread of your data point should be lower. Okay, so there are two ways to improve your CPK. If the process is already in the center, the values, the average values are already in the center, then the next thing is reduce the variation. That is what I told you in the case of the car driving scenario. In this case also you will get the same average from here to here. So if you take the average, okay, average is here, and the another scenario, you are driving here in the narrow range, still the average is same. Both case average is same, but your standard deviation here will be very high. Standard deviation is in the denominator. In the formula, if you check, it is in the denominator. It is in the denominator. So if this value increase, your CPK value or PPK value will decrease. So standard, whenever there is a denominator, you need to decrease the denominator to improve the value. जितना कम रहेगा, उतना आपका value अच्छा हो जाएगा, बढ़ते जाएगा. Okay. So now, what you have to do to improve the CPK or PPK, reduce the variation so that you reduce the standard deviation and make the average of the process or the average of the testing as much near as possible to the average of the specification or the center point of the specification. ये दोनों का center point है 60. If I make it 65 here and if I make it 59 here, not sorry, 65 and 55, and you got again the same values. Okay, because here I have taken 55, that's why I should give the reference. Okay, so if I make 55 65, then also it is 60. So basically you need to center the process and reduce the variation, then you only can improve. These are the only two ways are there to improve your CPK. So always look for this one where your average is moving, average of the specification, center line of the specification, and average of the process. Clear? Now,
Yeah.
the same thing I can quickly do. Average, we have made it 60 now, so I am changing it back to the averages of the averages. Okay. We will not tweak this because I need to tell you how that software works. Now it is same. Okay. These are the values what we got with our calculation. So let us see what we are doing is correct or not. The world famous statistical tool is there, software is there. I have copied all this data. है ना. I have copied all this data, or I can do it for copy this data, enter it into the Minitab. This is the license version. I have a trial version right now, है ना. Oh, sorry. That's why I can use it. I have copied the or just let me show you the screen directly. So whatever the screen I open, you will get to see. Now you see this Minitab software. Is it visible to you?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So this is the trial version I have downloaded because the license version is too much costly. You people can also download it. It is a 30-day trial. Okay, you can go to the internet and check how to download this one. Now this data, I am just putting the data here. Okay, and the copied data, it works like an Excel sheet. This data sheet works like an Excel sheet. Okay, but then inside there is a lot of functioning. So now this is, for example, I say subgroup, I will say sub 1, sub 2, so that we know this is test 1, test 2 data. Okay, now what we have to do quickly, I will go and I will at the stat go to the our quality tools are there, and then there is a capability analysis, and then there is a normal capability analysis I am called. So here I will use the subgroup are given across the it is little bit difficult. It's not difficult, you cannot understand in the first instance itself. Okay, you need to make some practice, but I will just show you how quickly it can do. Lower specification 57, it is 63. The estimate standard deviation, we are getting it from the R bar value. Okay, so you put it R bar here and okay, just put okay. Everything is done now. You got where your values are located. You got a nice histogram here prepared for you. Now what I will do, I will just copy it and I will take this to our Excel sheet. Okay, and we will compare our values and these values. So Excel sheet is visible to you people now. Is the Excel sheet
Yes,
visible
sir.
to you? Okay. So now
Yes, sir.
this is what we have calculated, and this is what you got from the statistical tool within a seconds, within few seconds. Okay. Now it tells you too much. Now when you do the process capability analysis using that particular statistical tool, it gives you a very much insights, and this data you can use for presentations also. Very quickly, thousands of data you can do the this is the histogram now. It will tell you where your data points are moving. By looking at the histogram itself, your specification limit is 57, it is 63. You clearly know your data is moving where? Your data is going towards the USL, more towards the USL. You can clearly see it is not in the center, it is clearly here. How many? What is the LSL? 57. USL 63. What is the sample mean? That is the averages. Averages was 61.115. How much was our average? Was it different or was it same? Let us see. How much was our average? Same. Okay. Now sample number. How many samples were there? 4 into 25. That is 100 samples data is there. Now what is the standard deviation overall? Okay, and then standard deviation within, because this is what you are going to use for calculating the CPK and PPK, or CP or PP, within and overall. When we say overall, we have taken all the 100 data, and that is what value we got, estimated standard deviation, or you can say within standard deviation, sorry, overall standard deviation. What is the value we got?
Same, sir.
Hana, we got the same value?
8638.
No, 0.7677. For overall I am talking now. And for standard deviation within, this is by from the R bar by D2 value, and we got the same. Let me make it to that 4383. Okay, you see exactly the same value we got. R bar by D2, and their software also given the same value. Now, based on this, it is calculating the CP, CPK, PP, PPK. So let us see what is the PP. PP is the overall capability, that is 1.30. How much we got? 1.30.
Same,
PPK,
sir.
PPKL, that is PPL 1.79, 1.79, 0.82, 0.82. That's why the PPK is 0.82. And CP is 1.15, 1.58, 0.72, and 0. Same. Okay. So what the method we have followed, it is same, or it is giving you the accurate result, exact result what is required. Okay. Another use of this tool, another use of this tool is, just a minute, you can use this tool also for making the charts, IMR chart. Within a minutes you can make. The last time we make the IMR chart, now that software is visible to you people.
Sir.
Okay. Now that day we have taken this data for IMR chart. Okay. So you just put the data here and again go to stat, go to your control charts. You have variable charts for subgroup, then variable charts for individuals. Then go to IMR chart, select for which you want to make the IMR chart. I have selected this, I have put this data, and you just put the OK. Finish. It has given you a very nice IMR chart here, which can be used. Now this IMR chart, I am going to copy and take it there where we have prepared the IMR chart that day. This is here. Now you check the data values what you got, the control limits what you got for the same data, and it is the same data I have taken here. Yeah, this is. Now you see what is the LCL, UCL you got. This is the IMR chart. Okay. And here in IMR chart made by that software, and very quickly you will get. Okay. No so many calculations and everything, but you should know the basics. That's why it is required to learn all these things. And then you can use any statistical software because you know how this has come, which formula it is being used. Now you check here, UCL is 102.842. What was our UCL? 102.842. Here 97.878, 97.878. Here it is 3.049, here it is 3.050. Slight difference is there only. The moving range value 0.933. Your moving range value, it was here 0.333. Same value what that software has calculated. Here your mean 100.36. Here your mean 100.36. So whatever we have done using the Excel sheet, it is exactly matching with that statistical software. Definitely we have taken all these calculations, we have made this, that, LCL, UCL, making the graph, but you see this how nicely it can give you IMR chart. Is it not? So this is quickly you can get all your charts. And you can see where points are moving, how points are moving, keep track of that. Okay, so this is about a little bit we are extending because it's the last day and I wanted to include this additional topic which was not actually supposed to include, but I thought it is good for you people if you going forward you can use the statistical tool also. And that statistical tool has so many advantages. You can do lot of things. Like this, you can make your histograms, you can make different box plots are there, histograms are there. Too much of it is very nice tool. Scatter plots, regression analysis. When you go to the stat, you can do basic statistics. You can have this regression analysis, ANOVA, analysis of variance, design of experiments, control charts. All type of control charts are there, even for subgroups. है ना, x bar r chart, x bar s chart, like this x bar r chart, है ना, we have the data, we have this, sorry, and you can clearly make the x bar r chart using this one. This is your x bar r chart, which is made using that particular data what we have. So very quickly it will give you, but you have to learn. It is you need to practice, you need to learn. So going back to that particular our topic.
So apart from the technical calculation, it seems to be the Microsoft BI.
What is Microsoft?
BI.
Pi.
By.
It can be, because that was also, I think, based on that. But it has been being used from, say, I think I was using since 2004, various versions that I was having. So now there are so many statistical analysis tools are there in the market. So you can, this is available. You can go through whatever is available, but you should get, the thing is that you should know the basics behind that, how it has arrived. After that, for your efficient working, you can use any software. Okay, but our basics should be very clear.
Right.
Now the another rule is called 68, 95, 99 rule. It states that any process, when you have a normal distribution of a process, it says your 68% of the values. So if you have 100 values total, 68 values will be within plus minus 1 standard deviation, will be falling within the plus minus 1 standard deviation. Your 95% of the values will be within 2 standard deviation, and 99.7% of the values will be within the 3 standard deviation spread. Okay, but to us, it looks very good. 99.7 means hardly a 0.7, 0.3% of the defects. Okay, you are saying that if your variation is within plus minus 3 standard deviation, got it? If you are saying your standard deviation is within plus minus 3 standard deviation, you are saying, oh, I am only producing 0.3% defect, which is very, very less. But if you take it in the absolute number, it will be very, very high. If you convert it to the millions of opportunities, so in 10 lakhs, how much it will be? So it will be very, very high. Okay, 0.3% means per million opportunities, means per 10 lakh opportunities, it will be 3,000. It means if the process of flight taking up and down, flight is going up at the takeoff and landing. So if you are saying that if you are operating within this variation, okay, so you are saying that in 1 million opportunities, that is 10 lakh times when it lands, 10 lakh time when it lands, you are allowing 3,000 times it to go out of the runway. If this is the runway, you are saying that if you operate at plus minus 3 sigma, you are allowing these 3,000 times going out of the runway. Can you just imagine that 3,000 times the aeroplanes are going out of the runway? What will happen? So you cannot run it here. Non-critical process you can accept at one place, and it is a true thing that the process will vary within plus minus 3 standard deviation. Control charts we have seen. So control chart is what? It is that it is telling you your process will vary within the 3 standard deviation. That is what it tells you. Now, if you go for 6 sigma, that is 6 standard deviation, not 3 standard deviation, 6 standard deviation, then the chances of having that defective part is hardly 0.000002%. That is I will remove this, 4, so it will be 0.002 defects per million opportunities. Okay, so if you have the process running at this, then you will have hardly 0.002 defects per million opportunities. Now, if your standard deviation, now if you put your specification limits here and you keep on closing your deviations, closing your variations, so just imagine a state where this value is here, means you are running like this one, your normal curve goes like this one, and your specification limits are here. It means your mean value is far away. Your specification limits are placed at 6 standard deviation. Here it is 3 standard deviation. Here your specifications are placed 6 standard deviation from the process datas. Then the chances are very, very less that you produce your defective parts. This is how your this graph and this graph looks. This is your control chart. Actually control chart का डाटा जब हम compile करेंगे, you will get the normal curve here. Your readings, if it is a normal or it is statistically controlled, in statistical control and having normal distribution, it will follow that 68, 95, 97 rule. Now what is the significance of that? The significance of Six Sigma level, when you operate at Six Sigma level, means your specifications are spaced at 6 standard deviation from the mean value. But process should be normal. It means that there are very minimum chances. What are the chances? 3.4 defects per million opportunities. But in the last slide I told you 0.002. So why have I changed it now to 3.4 DPMO? Because you need to take care of the shift. Okay, 6 sigma 1.5 sigma shift you have to take. This is what I told you, 0.002 defects per million opportunities. For 6 sigma I told you this, but actually you will get 3.4 defects per million opportunities. Still you will get 3.4 defects per million opportunities. Why so? Because for the long term the process normally shifts 1.5 sigma. There is a tendency of the process to deviate, and over a longer period, in the say small period of time, you can get higher sigma, okay, value. But when it goes for a longer period of time, the process naturally deteriorates. That's why we have to consider 1.5 sigma shift. So actually your specifications for a smaller duration of time, it can be located at 6 standard deviation, but on the longer scenario there is a 1.5 sigma shift, so they are actually placed at 4.5 sigma level. That's why there are chances, even if you operate at 6 sigma level with the 1.5 sigma shift, there are chances of 3.4 defects per million opportunities. And if you operate at 3 sigma level, your defect is how many? 66,811 defects per million opportunities. 10 लाख प्रोडक्ट बनाओ, 66,811 डिफेक्ट्स आ जाएंगे, उसमें चांसेस है. एंड दैट इज इक्वल टू हाउ मच सीपीके वैल्यू? 1. सो व्हाई पीपल आर आस्किंग फॉर 1.67? मिनिमम 1.33 तो होना ही चाहिए. If you get these CPK values, you just imagine the CPK value of the process, how much defects they are resulting into. Just imagine 10 लाख प्रोडक्ट बना रहे हो, 6,97,000 खराब बन जाएंगे उसमें से. If you are operate at 0.33 CPK, only 30.9% will be good product you are manufacturing. Whereas if you operate at CPK of 1.33, CPK of 1.67, you will get 99.98% product good. Somebody will say, sir, 99% is good. Okay, operate at 1.33 if you are accepting 1% rejection. So 99.5%, 4% will be good if you operate at 1.33. Whereas if you operate at 1.67, 1.66, you will get hardly 233 defects per million opportunities. Got it? This is the IL to Six Sigma conversion. Now, because it was say Six Sigma level of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we have converted it to very minute level. Like what will happen if your CPK value is 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. So normally, if you want to arrive at a sigma level, multiply this CPK value by 3. Okay. If you multiply your CPK value by 3, you will get the sigma level. At what sigma level you are operating. Standard deviation different, sigma level is different. Okay, don't confuse. So if you are operating at 1, it means your process is your company is operating, or your process is operating at 3 sigma level. You people have heard about the 6 sigma level. To operate or to gain this 6 sigma level, your CPK should be 2. Then only you will get this sigma level. Okay. So now with this, whatever the contents of the training are over, what we have learned the history of the SPC. Then we have seen the various states of the process. We have seen how the CPK can help, not CPK, sorry, how controlling the process can help you to get the desired results in the output, that is the products. There are various states of process. There is a natural tendency for the process to deteriorate over a period of time, and control charts will give you the opportunity to predict this variation, predict this degradation, and take actions in time. If you take action in time, your process variation will be less and your process will be more capable. Now there is a capability and there is a control. So process will be in a state of control if there are no assignable causes present. Only the variation is owing to the common causes of variation. Then we have seen the data types, various data types. Then we have seen how to calculate mean, median, our variance, and the standard deviation. We have also seen how to prepare various types of control charts for variable data and the attribute data. So we have seen individual data chart, or you can say X chart, I chart. Then we have seen IMR chart. Then we have seen X bar R chart and X bar S chart. We have also seen the charts for the attribute, that is NP chart, P chart, C chart, and U chart. Today we have seen how to calculate the capability, because the requirement is that process should be in control as well as it should be capable. Okay, and we have seen how the capability affects the defect generation, how it correlates with the, or not correlates, what is the say relation between the CPK value and the sigma level. We have also seen CPK, PPK, what standard deviation to be used for these calculations. Now, for the certification, you need to go to the website and access the assignment and submit it. You will get the score. Please take the snapshot of that score and send it to us over the WhatsApp. Screenshot of that and share it with share it on the over WhatsApp. Okay. So we hope that this training session has improved the skills and competence, or whatever you are looking for, whatever your expectations were, we were able to meet it. If at all you want any improvement in this training program, you are free. Do not hesitate. Please write us, send it over the WhatsApp, your suggestions. We will include it. Also, you can attend our future programs of this SPC free of cost. SPC basically. So you will get notification of the next training session. If you want to further improve your knowledge about this one, you can always attend our next training sessions also. Okay, of SPC. Secondly, the next training session what we are having is on the ISO 9001 2015 internal auditor plus IATF 169 internal auditor and the awareness of the IATF core tools. Because to become a IATF 16949 internal auditor, you will require the knowledge of the core tools also. So it will be a combo course. Those who want to go for ISO 9001 2015, it will be every day 1.5 hours, and then 30 minutes additional will be for the people who want to go for the IATF 16949 internal auditor. So, and that 30 minutes throughout the month, additional 30 minutes will be dedicated for the clauses of IATF 16949, and then the clauses, the knowledge about the core tools. So I will send that notification to people. If any one of you is interested, you can opt for that course. Now, regarding this course, if you have any queries, do let me know so that I can
Sir,
clarify it.
can you please some focus on like means what type of assignment is there, like MCQ or any calculation, and what will be the duration basically, so we can attempt according to the time slot.
Yeah, because don't worry, it is not a time, it is time dependent, but you can attempt it anytime. Okay, and it will take around just a minute, I have kept it for just a minute. Huh? I am pausing the screen. I hope the screen is now paused for you people.